Good morning, crew. How's it going? Welcome back to the workshop. It's another Sunday. Right, bear with me so I get things sorted out. Boom, boom, boom. Come on, YouTube, you can do it. Turn the volume down. Perfect. Look at that. Right, let's see who we've got in the workshop today. Mike Bazansky. Good morning, Mr. Young and crew. Good morning, Mike. Good to see you on the mend, mate. It's always good to see the odd X-ray now and again, isn't it? Roger Heaps. Good morning, Andy and crew. Hope everybody is doing well. Well, good morning, Roger. And yes, and you'll be pleased to know we have a strip to go on the leaderboard for the pies. And that's the one from your Matura steak and cheese that we did when I finished the DR200 trip. Very tasty pie and incredibly well structured as well. It was a phenomenal pie. You could have built walls with that pie. Simon Roll, thank F also, or Puck. We use the simile Puck. Thank Puck. It's the weekend, been flat out this week, and work and side jobs side of time. Yes, I have actually been extremely busy as well, as has Mrs. Mechanic, and son of Andy Mechanic has been here, Mr. Ben. He's been here for a few days, and it's been really good to see him. Actually, he did a bit of work on his ute yesterday. He put some kind of ammo box thing on the tailgate, so you can put your straps and stuff in there. So he was happy. He'd done some mountain biking. He'd done some meetings at work and stuff. For myself, I've been very, very, very busy doing admin work. And that's all I'm going to say about it. Not a fan, much rather be in the workshop anyway. Had to be done. And I got quite a bit done, which was nice. Peter Swatman. Hi, Andy and crew. Good morning, Peter, and welcome to the workshop. Mike Adams. Good Sunday morning to you there, Andy. And good afternoon from here in Tennessee. Well, good morning, Mike Adams. Great to have you back in the workshop again. I'm just going to move the laptop a little bit because you're slightly in shot there, aren't you? It's not very professional, is it? Jim K. Jim K is back in the workshop. Good morning, Jim. And it was good to have a good catch up earlier in the week. Thank you very much for that. Bruce Cleaver. Morning, Andy and crew. How are you all? Not too bad. Relieved, I think, is the word. Because of other commitments, not going to elaborate whatsoever. We got delayed. Well, actually, we got delayed on Sunday after the last live stream. The plan was to spray the remaining components for the second batch of fabrication. You all know what it's about. And, well, we realized we needed a lot more hooks because at no point we'd ever hung up all 500 parts from being sprayed at once. So me and Mrs. Mechanic set to make some hooks and very quickly realized that to make 300 more hooks, which is all that we had, we only had 200, it was going to be quite painful on my hands because I used to manually wrap the spokes around a socket, and then Mrs. Mechanic would then put the spoke, once I'd finished, into the vise and then hammer a... I need to show you a spoke. Hang on, bear with me. Right, very, very basic hook. We needed many, many, many of them, and that was the finished product. So the right angle end goes through the component, and the radius end goes through a hole in some Dexian. We'll just call it Dexian. I know it's not Dexian. It's that racking that we got from Red Baron Motorcycles in Auckland when they closed. So yeah, very, very useful little hook. And of course the flared end, the mushroom end down here, is really good at holding the part in place. So they work brilliantly, but we needed 300. So my job was to put this radius on. Very simple little task. Just bend it around a socket, a couple of sockets, off we go, job done. And then Mrs. Mechanic would then, put that 90-degree bend on. And the traditional way of doing that was to put it in the vise. And that essentially is the vice jaw depth. And then she would just hammer it down with magic hammer. and it did a pretty good job. I mean, it worked really, really well, but it was a bit time consuming and it was very noisy, and you know, it takes 3 or 4 hammer blows per, you know, per hook to do it, and you know, times that by 300, that's 1,000 hammer blows. She's gonna be knackered by the end of that. So I spent most of the day making an automated jig for her, so she could put the spoke in and then pull it down. You want to see it, don't you? Hang on. All right, I'll show you. We'll go and find it. Hang on, we'll go and find it. I'll take you with me, and you can go and look in the drawer as well. Right, here we go. Okay, turn you around. 3, 2, 1. Boom. Okay, so I'm pretty sure I put me in here. Oh, Ratty's been in, by the way. Look, we've got rat prints, but more about that shortly. Okay, so this is my template drawer. So this is where it went in, and this is the device. So it's going to stick it in the vise, and I'll show you how it works. I won't do a demo with making a spoke because, you know, it wasn't going to happen. I haven't got any spare spokes anymore. Right, so that goes in the vise like so. There is a little guide that clips. Can you see that? You can just. There's a little guide that just mole grips onto there because it's adjustable, you know, so I can use with this stuff. Hang on, bear with me. Hang on. Right, you've got to imagine this isn't bent at this end, all right? So it sits in there like that. This bottom bit sits on that depth stop. It's covered in paint. You have to believe me. Where's my knife? Hang on. Where's my knife? Bear with me. I should have been more organised, but I didn't actually plan on showing live TV. Right. It's a horrible noise. I know. It's like a blackboard, isn't it? Right. Just get rid of some of that paint. Just shows how thick the paint is, doesn't it? Good paint. Actually, the paint, just while I'm doing this, the paint has gone on extremely well. I think that might be enough. I think we're there. Okay. Right. Yeah, the paint went on extreme. Look at that. It's straight in. That's the close tolerance that we worked to in Andy Mechanic Workshop. Okay, so imagine that's not bent. She then grabs the lever, and I actually stick another pair of mill grips on here just so it resets properly, and this is all adjustable. And then she just pulls that lever down, and boom, it puts the bend in, and then she just wiggles it back out again, which is a lot. It usually comes out a lot easier than that. And that's that one done. 299 still to go. Right, so there you go. I made something on Sunday. It sort of works. I mean, it's not ideal. Ideally, the pivot point should be along that folding edge there, but it was a quick job, you know, and no welding. It was just, you know, fabricated from, or bolted together like a Meccano kit, just out of scrap pieces around the workshop, which is what it's all about. But next time we have some more hooks to make, which shouldn't be for a while, we'll have a tool to do the job. It's good, isn't it? I like that. Right, where's my cigarette? Boom, 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 boom. Let's go and close that off. Keep Mr. Ratty out. Jeez. Right, turn you around. Boom. Oh no, you pressed it twice. There we go. A double flip. Okay. Oh, right. So there we go. That's better. Right. So back to the comments. Yes, so we've been very, very busy. There we are. Very, very busy. Very busy. So I ended up, because we burnt most of Thursday making hooks, it was too late to start spraying, because I reckoned about 4 to 5 hours to spray the remaining 300 pieces. So we aborted mission on Sunday, went inside, watched a movie, that kind of stuff, played some music, I think, and then really, in all honesty, I got bogged down with admin work every single day. Until sort of Thursday came along, it's like, holy crap, I have to spray this stuff. It's got to be dry and packed by Sunday night, tonight. So once I finished my admin about 5 o'clock on Thursday, then the workshop was already open, I think, from memory. I think Ben had been in the workshop, so came in, got set up, and we managed to knock it out in 4 hours. So we got finished. We got inside and finished by about 10 o'clock after we had a shower. So it was pretty full on, and Mrs. Mechanic worked her ass off for every single minute of those 4 hours. I was able to keep her, you know, really, really busy, because Basically, her job was to put the unpainted part on a hook, hang it on the side of the box, so then it was ready for me to grab and spray. So I'd grab it, put it on the twizzly eyelet that I have, spray it, and then I would put it on a rail that protrudes from the side of the bike hoist. Really, really organized, really easy. You don't have to walk very far. Well, don't have to walk anywhere, really. It's just all within arm's reach, pretty much. She also then had to hang up the painted part outside on the carport. So imagine how busy she was. All I had to do was pick the part up, stick it on the Swizzly eyelet and spray it. That was my job, basically. She had to do everything else. But she did it. I think there was maybe one time that I was waiting maybe a couple of seconds for a part to spray, but other than that, she did a fantastic job. I mean, couldn't ask any more of her, to be fair. She was knackered by the end of it. Oh, Marmite's out, barking at the neighbours as always. Right, where do we get to? Simon, Bruce Cleaver. The wife has the Rona. Oh no, with her not using her car. She reminded me it needed a major service. Yes, those kind of things tend to crop up, don't they, when the people start to slow down and go, oh yeah, I'm not using that for a while. I'm sure you can fit it in. Alan Cook, good morning, Alan. Alan is back, our superior expert drone flyer and builder. Mike Adams, Andy, are you familiar with who Evel Knievel? Absolutely. I used to have one of those wind up Evel Knievel things, the bikes that would do the stunts and pull wheelies and stuff. Brilliant. It's gone now. Don't know where it is. The bike Key Road was a 1972 Harley-Davidson XR750. I was wondering if you've ever seen one and your thoughts on it, if you had. Only on the telly. I haven't actually seen one in the flesh, to be honest, I don't think. Not from memory, anyway. I don't work on Harleys. They're a bit like Land Rovers in the fact that, it's a niche thing, and or Marmites, you either like them or hate them. I don't mind them. I understand what they stand for. I think Harley-Davidson have done an awful lot of good for the motorcycle industry over the years and led the way in some cases. But it's just not bikes. It's just not my customer base. I just don't get them. And in all honesty, I don't really do a lot of retail. I do hardly any retail work anymore. I just don't have time for it. But I will keep my eye open and see if I come across one. So I can't really comment on the bike itself. Sorry, Mike. Mike Blazanski, did the Magic Hammer ever get new faces installed? It hasn't yet. It hasn't. It has now got a brother. I did buy a new one, but I do still have the faces, and I do intend to make up. You've got to make up a kit, basically, to actually unflare the old hammer head part, the cast part, or whatever it is, and you got to unflare it, get the old ones out, put the new ones in, and then you've got to basically crush the end of the tube back in to nip against the new head. It's a bit involved, and I can see why a lot of people don't bother to do it, because the price difference between a new hammer complete compared to just two new inserts, it's probably double the price to get the hammer, but there's no work involved. You just buy it and use it. I know we live in a disposable world, but so I am inclined to do it. I didn't need to do it, but I want to do a video doing it. But I haven't had time because, Jared's go-kart, which is above my head at the moment, needs to get done. So hopefully in the next few weeks. But as regards the Magic Hammer video, don't know. Don't know when I'm going to do that. But I've got the parts. It's just I've got a lot of parts. I've just got to find the time. But thank you, Mike, for reminding me. Jesse Dixon. G'day, Andy. How are you? I am doing punch just fine. Thank you very much. Yes, I'm doing okay. A bit tired. It's been a lot of eye strain, a lot of time in front of the computer, to be honest. 3 screens glaring away at you, two big screens and a laptop screen glaring away at you all day long, and trying to juggle doing admin work between answering the phone and emails that keep popping through and problems and stuff. So it's a constant conveyor belt of communication and processing is what it is when I'm at work doing admin work. I usually start about 7 in the morning, and I normally don't sign off until probably 5:30 in the evening. They're long days, but I try to get as much done as I possibly can and get it out of the way, in all honesty. Mike Adams, you should patent that break you made. I don't think it's that good. But it works. That's all that matters. It works. And Mrs. Mechanic really, really, really liked it. And she was actually a lot better at using it than I am. Maybe that's through repetition. I don't know. But she thought it was fantastic. So, does the job. And it just, because hammering obviously after a while hurts your wrist and hurts your hand and stuff. And she was very grateful that I'd made it for her. Yes, pretty cool. And maybe one day I'll actually paint the parts. Who knows? Alan Cook, how's Holly? Holly is busy settling down to her in a new job. She switched jobs a couple of weeks ago. She now works for a major automotive importer into New Zealand. Massive step up for her. She's done a fantastic job to secure that position. Thoroughly deserves it. She's very good at what she does. And I believe she's in the still within the parts environment, stroke customer service type, thing. So I've not really spoken to her recently, but I have seen a couple of posts that she's put on Facebook or Instagram, wherever it was, just updating all her friends of how she's getting on. And they're currently lending her lots of new cars to drive home and experience the product, which is really, really good and exactly what should happen. Everybody that works at a head office of an importer's should know the brand, experience the brand, because they're going to get asked, oh, you work for Hyundai, for example. She doesn't work for Hyundai. What's the new Santa Fe like? And if you say, well, I don't know, mate, it's a bad look, isn't it? You want to be able to say, actually, it's pretty good. Good on fuel, does this, does that. You should buy one. But, some importers don't do that, and that's bad, to be honest. David Lawrence, how are you, Andy? Andy Numbnuts. Well, I think I've answered that question already. I'm doing all right. I'm looking forward to us getting the rest of the packing done. I'll show you what Mrs. Mechanic's done so far. A bit boring, but she'll tell you it's boring. But I'll show you what we've done so far and what's still to get done today, because it has to go up to Auckland tomorrow, and I'll be in Auckland until Thursday. I'm leaving late Thursday afternoon, I believe, at the moment. That's the plan. Might be Friday. Don't know yet. It's gone out. What the hell? Machine NZ. Good morning, Andy. Good morning, Machine NZ. Great to have you on board, matey. Myford's still over there in bits. Still need to order some more parts. I'll get around to it. Ben will be 30 by the time I get that laid through at this rate. But all the other bits and pieces are all safe in these roll cabs, in the drawers. So I'm not too concerned. We'll get there. It's a long-term project. That's the pigeonhole it's been put in now. That's a long-term project. In actual fact, I don't have a working lathe at the moment because the Boxford, I snapped off the reverse and forwards lever the other day. So I can't actually use it, which is a bit of a shit. But I did order a new switch, and that's in Auckland, and I get to pick that up tomorrow, which is good. So I can fix that. And I got exactly the same brand of switch, same model of switch, so I can just copy the wiring from one to the other. So I don't need to know what the wires do. I just need to copy them in exactly the same order, so it doesn't let the smoke out. Matawix, is there a pie involved today? There is. There's a gourmet pie today. Now, can I hold this? I can't, because we've opened it up the wrong end. I opened it up the wrong end, so bear with me. We'll just extract said pie and put it somewhere that's not being ratted. Hang on, bear with me. Stick it on my phone, that'll work. Okay. So, this is the pie box. Now, it came as a double pie, which is even better than a single pie. I've already eaten the other pie before you get too excited. I had it yesterday, but I'm not going to say a word about my experience yesterday because it's all about today's pie and this particular one. So, it is made by Herbert Adams, very, very posh, and they've been making pies since, 1909, and it's a gourmet wine infusion, or with wine infusion. It's a slow-cooked beef with Shiraz and cracked pepper. Look at that. Very, very, very inviting box. I mean, look at that. That's a premium pie, that is. I mean, you're going to be walking around the supermarket without any trolley, and you're going to be drooling all over the floor, basically. Because, I mean, look at the large chunks of meat in there. That cross section is so inviting, isn't it? You know, so you can imagine my face when Mrs. Mechanic came home with this. It's like, wow, I can't wait to eat into that pie. So we will wait and see. Let me finish my cigarette because I only smoked half of the last one, I think. And then we'll go and pop it in the pie warmer. And there's been some upgrades to the pie warmer as well. It's all happening at the Andy Mechanic Workshop, I'll tell you. So there you go, Matowix. Connor K, good morning. Connor, welcome back to the workshop, sir. Morning, Andy and crew. 2 years into this pandemic and these great weekend live streams. Is that how long it's been? Have I been doing these live streams for 2 years? Man, time really flies. Who could believe that? 2 years. I really have lost track of time. Ever since the pandemic started, it's just the whole timeline. I don't know if you guys find the same thing, but the whole timeline thing seems to have gone out the window. I just can't remember how long ago I've done things. It just seems to be one big blur at the moment. Roger Heaps, what's happening with the mud bug? Am I getting told off, Roger? The mud bug is currently outside, as with pretty much all the other bikes, apart from the Farm Special, which is down there, and its brother, the TF125. The mud bug is outside, parked next to the the Honda CT90, the postie bike. Well, actually, it's not. It's the agricultural version with the low range, but anyway, you know what I mean. Is it going to get done this year? Probably not. It really needs a shed to go in. It lives inside on the night time, obviously, but during the day it goes outside with all the other bikes and has a little chat with them, a little conference. But I will get around to it. I'm looking forward to doing it. It's a treasured bike, and I will be doing videos on it for sure. But it's not going to be for a while, Roger. Sorry. Oh, hang on. You're all firing away a bit quick. Roger Heaps. Oh, and tell Mrs. Mechanic we have piglets. Really? Piglets? Nice. Piglets are very tasty. Mike Bazansky. Bacon. Absolutely, Mike. Matowix, you might catch Omicron. It's in Auckland. It's rampant. I know. And we have meetings coming up next week. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday morning. Very wary, in all honesty. Very, very wary about the whole thing. Don't really want to go, but have to go. It's my job. I have to be there. Have to do it. And I think there's supposed to be a meal out one night as well. So we're all going to be sat around a table where we're not wearing our masks because we're going to be eating. So Mrs. Mechanic's also, voiced her concern as well. So all I can do is be as careful as possible. Quite a few people now that I know of and work colleagues have had it. Jesse Dixon, look at that. You've put a super chat up for me. Thank you very much, Jesse. I really, really appreciate that. Thank you. A great guy putting effort into answering comments. That's what the live streams are all about, Jesse. We answer every single comment. And fortunately, unlike many live streams that go out, people want to get as many viewers as possible. This is a niche viewing, a niche audience. We only have a small number of live stream viewers. Sure, a few more people watch it after the event sort of thing, but not actually within the live stream itself. So it's great that you're on board, and it gives my viewers, you guys and girls, the opportunity to ask questions and for me to answer them. Hopefully, I'll try to, at least. I'll bumble my way around and try and avoid the subject because I haven't got a clue what I'm talking about. Whatever it is, I'll do my best. Simon. It's gone out again, hasn't it? Bugger. If you need any screw/stroke grubs for the Myford, let me know. I've got loads of them. Probably will actually, Simon. I will let you know. I have no idea what thread sizes they are. I'll have to look them up on the parts list to find out. I just know where they are on the lathe and which ones are missing. And from memory, there were quite a few damaged ones and missing ones. and nearly all of them were very loose. Not good. I am looking forward to putting it back together, though, I must admit. And Ben will, I mean, it hasn't, as things have turned out, Ben hasn't got his own workshop at the moment. So there's really no point in me rushing to get it finished to give to him, because he'll just say, leave it here. I'll be ending up looking after it, and that'll take up more bench space once it's all back together. So at the moment, it's just been put on the back burner, and I can save up some more pennies and order the last few bits that I need. But we have spent a lot of money on it, to be fair. It should be a nice lathe when it's all finished. Thank you, Simon. I will keep you posted. Be a while yet, but I'll let you know. Matawix, I've been eating a dad's pie every day this week. Good man. Pies are great. I went to, when was it? Friday. Went to Taupo, or Torpor, as Mrs. Mechanic calls it. It's Taupo. I'm Yorkshire. That's how it's spelled. That's how you say it. And we got some supplies. More about that shortly. That all links into Mr. Ratty, who actually had a sighting yesterday. Mrs. Mechanic and Ben were sat over there on the little table, wherever it is now, over there, but almost where the shot blasting cabinet is. And Mr. Ratty popped up just behind where the camera is, and leisurely just strolled across the stool that's parked on top of the power hacksaw and across the timber work at the back of the shed. Not a care in the world. And Mrs. Mechanic screamed, obviously, and it's a big rat. It's a big rat. It is. I mean, I said, oh, it's just a mouse. It's not. It's a bloody rat. It really is a rat. You saw the size of his footprints. He's a rat. So we have a plan. Bruce Cleaver, damn you, is going posh with today's pie. Yeah, well, Mrs. Mechanic bought it. Bit of a treat. But to be fair, we are, within the locality, we're starting to run out of different brands of pie. And it was bloody lucky she came across this, to be honest. Simon, do hope the pie is not a disappointment. Me too. I hope it's not. I'm looking forward to see how the score goes. Mike Bazanski, pinky out while eating the fancy pie. Oh, absolutely. Got to do that. Sheldon. Hey, good morning, Sheldon. Good communication during the week. Thank you very much. Always enjoy a good photo of pie being cooked in the pie warmer. Good morning, Andy and crew, says Sheldon. Roger Heaps, meant 125 in the shed. Oh, okay. This one. It's just on the hoist. It's just one less bike to wheel in and out at the moment. But the more I look at it, I think maybe that's going to be the next project. I like two strokes. It's actually in pretty good nick. It really is. And I only paid $200 for it, which I think is a bargain. It needs a new wiring harness. That's the first thing it's going to get, because they always fail. A lot of the farm bikes have problems of the wiring around the steering head area because of all the flex, and I would say the quality of the wiring harness isn't the greatest, so it'll get a new wiring harness put on it. Can I make it road legal? I don't know yet. I don't know if I can. I've got to sort of explore that avenue. I don't know if that bike is used as a road variant or not. If it is, then possibly. We'll have to wait and see. Now, the pie needs warming up, I know it does. Matawix, the pie has a lot to live up to. Was it expensive? Actually, I don't know how much it cost. Mrs. Mechanic didn't tell me. I just paid for it because I gave her my card to go shopping, which I know is very dangerous indeed. So watch this space. Maybe Mrs. Mechanic will send me a text and let me know, because sometimes she watches the live streams. Again, thank you, Jesse, for the donation. I really, really appreciate it, mate. Right, JJ, morning, Andy and crew. Good morning, JJ. Welcome back, matey. Simon Roll, piglets, bacon in training. Absolutely. JJ, I'm making a bacon sarnie as we speak. Mrs. Mechanic did his bacon sandwiches. I think that was on Friday as well, actually. Very, 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 very tasty. A long one. Right, Brian Graham. Don't go to any meetings or meals that you don't have to. I am sat here waiting for the COVID bomb to go off. The wife was diagnosed with it this morning. Oh, shit, really? I live in York. I'm 1 in 15 people currently. Yeah, Mum lives just outside York. Hi, Mum, if you're watching. She does watch sometimes. I will get that paperwork sorted out. We're on with it. Mrs. Mechanic's going to have a look at it next week and try and collate everything that we need. Now, yeah, so it's, the feedback from Mum is it's rife over in the UK again at the moment. And it seems that certainly here in New Zealand, the government's just going, hey, you know what? It's out of control. Just get on with it. Suck it up. All the restrictions have been pulled. You still got to wear your face masks and that kind of stuff, but travel's not affected. Go to work. If you're feeling ill, stay at home. It's just, I don't know, a bit weird. Matawix, of the people you know who caught Omicron, was it mild? Yeah, I don't want to go too deep into all this. When YouTube get a bit grumpy when we start talking about the pandemic and things. But everybody, I mean, and I've in the last week, I've been notified that quite a few people around New Zealand have caught it in areas that are pretty remote. So it's definitely out there, and it's definitely very, very widespread now. I've not been aware of anybody really being hospitalized, but maybe they wouldn't tell me. I don't know, because I was being told by friends of the people that were affected, obviously. But no, as far as I'm aware, it's all been reasonably mild. Simon, the good thing about your live stream is the crew. There is a hell of a lot of knowledge on this stream. There is, and it's fun as well. We talk about all sorts of weird stuff as well as interesting diagnostic stuff as well, and we all chip in. It's a forum, isn't it? That's what it is, really. It's a forum. Right, without further ado, because I'm just going to take a pause on the comments, let's get said pie in the pie warmer. Now, we always do a little inspection before we cook it, because things can happen in the pie warmer. They're a little bit unexpected with some pies. So, first of all, the top. We do have what looks like, yes it is, it's a crack. It starts on the lid, and it actually goes down the side as well, look. That's a bit concerning, but we'll find out how that's going to occur. That could rupture. It could split right open through thermal expansion and maybe contraction of the pastry. I don't know. I'm not a pastry scientist, but that could split right open and be pretty detrimental to the structural integrity of this pie. So we'll have to watch the space on that one. We do have some lifting of the lid around here as well, so the bonding's not particularly good. I nearly used a different word there. Please, I didn't. Underneath is perfect. No problems at all. And it is extremely round. I don't believe it's a handmade pie. It's not handmade. This is, made by a machine. I'm sure of it. And there's your cracked pepper on top, look. Okay, right. Let's go and look at the pie warmer and get it all fired up. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Boom. Right. Okay. Don't walk too fast, Andy, because YouTube doesn't like it. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. Yes, could be the next project bike. It does run, by the way. I've had it running. Okay. Oh, I need more arms. Hang on. I'll stick it down here. I've got to open the cupboard. Right. Oh, notice the cupboard has moved slightly. It's now fully adjacent to the Tool Girl cupboard. Right. Okay. Look at that. Look at that. We've got a almost finished cupboard. It's got a shelf in it now. It's got the pie warmer. It's got my little metal hardness testing kit wedged in there for some reason. Look at that. It's even got power up there, and it's got the battery chargers and stuff. Very, very smart. Very happy with it. Right. So we've got easy access to the pie warmer. Always plugged in, which is important for a pie warmer to be always plugged in. We'll stick that crack at the front so we can see that when we can come back to it. Close said lid. Put it on for about that much, which is, I don't know, 22 minutes is the norm for pies. Probably needs a bit of a clean, actually, this pie warmer, but anyway, all adds to the flavour, doesn't it? Right, there we go. We'll leave it for a little bit, and we'll get back to the live stream. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, yes. Honestly, right, the ultimate farm bike. It's a phenomenal piece of kit. Didn't it do well? And you can see the oil leaks. Look now, get a good close-up. Got oil leaks all over the place. It's been collecting dust from many of the tracks that I went on. So we've got a top end rebuild to do at some point. Well, a head rebuild. I'm not going to take the cylinder off. We're doing a head rebuild on that one. And of course a new tyre and other bits and pieces. Oh, and I've got some news on Garmin as well, actually. But there'll be a video going out on that soon. So Garmin, turn you around. Boom. There we go. Garmin came to the table as regards that Overlander, which was nice. So we finally got a price out of the Auckland office, the New Zealand office of Garmin, and they charged me to sell me a completely brand new unit, 248 New Zealand dollars, and I thought that was a bargain. It's almost a quarter of the original purchase. Well, it is actually near as damn it a quarter of the original purchase price. They want the old one back, and that's fine. I haven't sent the old one back yet. I'm going to send it back tomorrow. So I'm going to do a video a bit later on today, just explaining what happened and why it failed, and that kind of stuff. We might even have a little sneaky peek inside. Actually, we could do that, pull it apart, and actually see the componentry inside. That'd be interesting. It does still turn on, but it doesn't work. It just flickers. You've all seen it. And then when the new one turns up, then I'll crack it, get it out of the box, and we'll go through all the features and stuff, because I think it's great. I think it's really good. So, where do we get to? So thank you, Simon. Oh, hang on, I'll scroll down. Right. Mike Adams. Educate me if you can. Why is it simple parts, vehicle parts, like a bike blinker, or indicator as we call them in England, is so expensive opposed to a car indicator or blinker? That's really the same part. In the 80s for a Suzuki was $20, for a car $5. Well, probably because they make 10 times as many of the car ones. You've got that saving in production, haven't you? The more you make, the cheaper it gets per component, because rolled into that price is all the design of the indicator, and they can benefit from economies of scale. That was the phrase I was looking for. That's probably what it's about. I must admit, with parts, we can use the farm special as a really good example of this. You can buy a brand new DR200 Trojan, not road legal, but you can buy a brand new one off the shelf, assuming a dealer's got one, for about $5,300 ish. I think that's about the going rate for them, if I remember rightly. However, if you were to buy all the parts separately to build your own, man, I reckon you'd be spending about $20,000. Based on the parts that I've bought, I haven't spent that much, obviously, but there's a lot more parts on that bike than what I replaced, a hell of a lot more, and I probably spent, and some of these parts are aftermarket as well, but I did buy genuine where I could. I probably spent a couple of $1,000s on that bike, and I don't mind at all. It's did a lot of really good videos. I had a lot of fun doing the work. It's a fantastic little bike now, and of course it did the trip, which is invaluable. You can't put a price on fun and experience. I mean, 2 weeks riding it across New Zealand, brilliant. I'd have paid twice as much for the fun that I had looking back. It's really good. It was really, really good, actually. And it was nice to do it on not a new bike and not a big adventure bike, but can do the work, and it just blasts along and absorbs all the bumps and does everything for you. Traction control and ABS and all that kind of thing, and plenty of power. With that little bike, you had to think about what you were doing, and you had a lot of rider input to make it work, and you had to look after it and check it and do stuff, and it was fun. And that's what it's all about on bike trips for me. Now then, where do we get to? Right, Matterwicks. Get Mrs. M to make a homemade pie to review. I am on with it. I'm trying to get her to make pies, because that would be a really good thing for her to get into. I don't see any reason why she can't. She makes big pies. She used to make big pies back in the UK for the family-sized pies. They're very tasty. But they didn't have a base to them. It was just, in a cooking pot with a pastry lid. That's the kind of pie she made. So she needs to get her head around how she's going to make them. But I'm sure she will, and she'll make. I'm pretty sure she'll be able to make some bloody good pies. Bruce Cleaver, go careful with the areas where the rat has been. Wheels disease, Jesus, leptospirosis, was that pronounced right? Isn't very nice apparently. Keep cuts covered. You can catch it through their pee. Right. Very, very good advice, because as you well know from last weekend's live stream, Mr. Rat, see those 4 big drawers behind me, the really wide ones, he's been in there on a regular basis, and it stinks of rat pee and poo and all the other bits and pieces that rats tend to leave behind, even the blackened stuff off his fur. It's all in there. And one of the tasks I would plan to do this weekend, but it's going to get done next weekend now, is I've got to pull everything out of those drawers, clean everything, because everything's covered in whatever. There's socket sets, there's torque wrenches, there's wiring. Oh man, it's going to be a nightmare job cleaning it all. And then I've got to clean all the drawers out, and then I've got to try and put some strips across the back. I've got some plywood, so maybe that'll do the trick, to try and close up the gap, because they're the only drawers that you can get in, and it's because the gap between the drawers is a little bit bigger at the back than all the others. So I need to blank it all off and then put everything back in. So it's going to be a day's job just to solve that problem, but man, it's absolutely horrific in there. Like I said, I did go shopping. We have got some rat traps and stuff to have a little look at, and there'll be a video on it. Catching Mr. Rat will be the name of the video, I'm sure. But thanks, Bruce. I will be very careful. And you know, the problem is when a rat gets into your workshop, you don't really know where he's been, and I don't always wear gloves. This is the problem. Jesse Dixon, have you ever changed a torque converter on an automatic transmission? If so, how annoying of a job, unless there is an inspection plate to remove? Yeah, normally you've got to basically get access to the bolts that hold the torque converter to the flex plates. You've got to undo all of those, and then you've got to pull the gearbox back, and then you can, once you've got the gearbox back, then you can take the torque converter off. They are a bit of a pain. I've done a couple over the years. I did a little Suzuki Escudo, or a little Suzuki Vitara, we call them in the UK, although the UK very, very rarely do you get an automatic one. Over here, they're nearly all automatic, and I did an engine swap, which is why I had to swap the torque converter across. It wasn't that big a job, in all honesty, on that particular vehicle. I'm sure other vehicles are a lot more difficult. Everything else we've had that I've worked on has always been a manual, so it hasn't been an issue, obviously. So that's really the only experience I can give you. It's the only car that I've actually swapped or removed the torque converter from. Yeah, that's it, just that one. So very, very limited knowledge in that area. But they have to be, there's got to be a process to split them, to gain access. So good luck. Roger Heaps, the 185 Blood Book could be registered if I remember correctly. Had indicators, it does, and battery, etc. Could possibly make a hybrid with that one in the shed. Only front, hang on. I've got a blue blob in the way. Only front down tube that's different on the frame. Wow, good to know. Thank you, Roger. I was looking at the front forks on the 125 and looking at them on the 185. And they look very, very similar, so it may well be. And the ones on the older one are completely pitted out and screwed, so it may well be that I can just drop some forks in out of the 125, and that will solve that entire front end issue. It'll be a quick fix. So it'll all be in the videos. It's all going to happen at some point. Bruce Cleaver, pie looks a bit pale. Is it? It did look pale. It might brown up a little bit in the pie warmer though. Connor K, I know you can't say much, but does Holly work for a single car manufacturer, or do they import multiple brands from either Europe or Asia? Drinking coffee from my jolly mug now, from your Holly mug now, jolly Holly mug. Very hot. Yes, it'll take a long time to cool down all that one, Connor. Those mugs have been designed specifically to maintain thermal retention. I believe she works for a single importer, which is always a good thing, because then there's a clear brand sort of ethos to the whole thing. I'm pretty sure it is. I'll ask her when I see her next, whenever that's going to be. It could be a while yet. But she's very happy. She's very happy with herself. I'm sure she's working very hard, but she's very happy with the working environment. You tend to find that within that kind of corporate environment, people are a lot more respectful of the workforce, you know, and you're all there to do the same job, basically, and just make it work. So I'm sure she'll be getting treated very well, and she probably got a pay rise. I think she did get a pay rise. I'm sure she did. Which is nice. You know, she deserves it. Oh, hang on. Matterwix, a pie warmer should be on the top shelf. That gear on top will get hot. Yeah, good point. It's actually pretty well shielded, is the pie warmer. But if we see flames, I'll let you know. The reason why I put it on the bottom shelf is it's the right height for me to put the pies in to film and stuff. It's a little bit high on the top shelf. But, you know, if that shelf burns down, then, you know, it may well be that I need to make a new shelf and move it. We'll see. But good point. Jim Haynes, my weekly jab in the ribs. How is the go-kart coming? Well, you tell me. Yeah, you're going to get an overhead shot now. There. Oh, hang on. God, turn it around. What an idiot. There you go. 3, 2, 1. Boom. It's up there, look. There is the go-kart. Probably a really good... Oh, YouTube didn't like that. Probably a really good rat obstacle for him to run around, I would say. There we go. That's better. Yeah, Jared has got the engine for it now, so that's probably a little subtle hint to say, Andy, can you pull your finger out and get it done? I do actually have, hate to say this, but I do have, because the next fabrication batch won't be for at least another 5 weeks, because that's the lead time for the laser cutting. So I've got basically a month gap where I'm not servicing ROVs and I'm not involved with fabrication work. I do have a few front suspension braces to finish. That's next on the list. As soon as they're out of the way, which shouldn't take long, be a lot quicker than this stuff, because they just need finishing off and painting and then assembling and packing. I can then get on with the go-kart, and I've been looking forward to that project for a very long time. I need to get some gas, I need to get some MIG wire, I need to get some more tube because I've used it all. But other than that, we're good to go, basically. So, Simon Roll, it did well as it's a DR. A group of lads from the UK went round the world on DR 350s in 2003. Well, they didn't ring me up to go with them, did they? What the hell? I'd have gone with them. I'd have taken the 200. Yeah, I just think they're a simple, bulletproof, Japanese-built, run forever, reliable bike, in all honesty. I really like them. Sure, they've got their problems, don't get me wrong, but with good maintenance, you can easily overcome those problems. Roger Heaps, live update. Youngest pig had 5 piglets 2 days ago. Oldest pig has had 2 so far and still going. That's going to be a lot of really tasty bacon, Roger. Simon Raw, piglets are cool, aren't they? They are cool. They're fun to watch running around. Simon, with nuts and bolts on the last 6 numbers, have the size and pitch on them. Not going to comment on other brands decoding. Yes, you are correct. Yes, good point. Ian Edwards, there is access to converter bolts. They're just tricky if you don't really know what you're doing. Leave it alone, as you can do a lot of damage. Yeah, probably. Just, you know, take time to have a good visual inspection and work it out. And if you're struggling, just get the service manual. The service manual will tell you how to do it properly for that particular car. And usually you can download one off the net. You can normally get all of them. Sheldon, you lose half the oil out of the torque converter. It's messy when reinstalling. Ensure the torque converter goes into the oil pump drive correctly. Yes, reinstallation, you've got to jiggle it around a little bit and get it to go fully home to make sure it's, you know, all the tines are correctly located. Very good point, Sheldon. I was always taught to take the, I suppose taking the gearbox out's a bit of a ball ache, but I was always taught to take the torque converter off the flex plate, leave it in the gearbox, take the gearbox down, and then you can sort of tip the gearbox and then bring the torque converter off, and you've not pissed loads of oil out. But saying that, you know, it's a much bigger job, and I was doing an engine swap, so the gearbox had to come out anyway. It wasn't difficult to do. And on the little Suzuki's, it's actually pretty quick taking the gearbox out. So I can't remember what car you're working on, but you know, if you want to give your gearbox a bit of a refresh at the same time, do that. Mike Adams, do you ever miss the simplicity of working on the old mechanical, non-computerized machines? That's all I work on. Well, during the week, I don't. I work on the modern stuff, and it's always a case of plug in the computer. Ask the ECU what the problem is, find out the fault code to get some kind of direction, and, you know, through logic, you basically narrow your way down and you finally find the fault. And 9 times out of 10, it's not a fault with the EFI system. It's normally, especially on the farm vehicles, it's normally wiring. And wiring just rubs through it, goes to ground, it does all sorts of weird stuff. Or corrosion, you know, bad earth or something. It's not that often. It's a sensor that's failed. So you know, people just swapping out sensors because of the fault code on those kind of vehicles is a bit dumb, I think. It usually doesn't fix the fault. I love working on the old bikes. That's why that's all I do here. I'm very, very fortunate that the surf club's ROVs, it really is, 99% of the time, it's just servicing work. They don't do enough hours or kilometers of the work, and they're not old enough to start to have those kind of problems. Sure, I've had charging issues, I've had the odd running problem, but in the main, they're actually really, really good. Especially when you consider where they work, the environment. You know, vehicles on beaches tend not to last very long. It's a very harsh environment for them. I much prefer the old school stuff. And Sheldon will tell you all about a little Egg 100 that we worked on a couple of weeks ago. You know, just, you can see stuff. It's all visual. It's what mechanics do. We take apart and we look at it, and we can work out what the problem is. Normally it's by looking at it and inspecting it, taking it apart and making sure all the holes are clear that should be clear and that kind of stuff, especially carburetors, you know. Jesse Dixon, since you're in New Zealand, are you into rotary engines? I think rotary engines are absolutely phenomenal. Never worked on one. Have seen one in bits. We used to have a demonstration one at Unitech, but never worked on one. But I think they are absolutely brilliant. And I remember I used to go. I went down to Castle Donington to watch the John Player special bike, ridden by Mr. Haslam, if I remember rightly, a long time ago. And the noise was just unbelievable. The performance was incredible. The handling was terrible. And that's why the bike struggled. If they got the handling sorted out, it's all to do with the gyroscopic effect of the engine and so on. If they could have overcome that, that bike would have been unbeatable without any doubts. Simon, Jim Haynes, it's not going till it has a 350 YPF engine. Ben informed me the other day he has all the parts now to build a high performance Banshee engine to go in his TDR 250. That will be a weapon when it's done. It really will, because he has two bikes. He has one that's in standard configuration, and he has one that's been deregistered, which is down in the shed. What's left of it. And I think that's the one that's going to. I don't think you want to modify his standard one because they're worth too much money when they're original. But I think he's going to play around with the other one and try and get that set up. He probably won't get it road legal. Knowing Ben, he will just every now and again when he wants to ride it on the road, he'll take the plates off the road legal one or the number plate off that and the red journal. He'll stick it on the performance bike and take it for a spin. That's probably how he will do it. Knowing Ben. John Nuttall, one of my mates, jumped off a bridge into a canal on a sunny day, banged and cut his head. Well, that's pretty standard. There's all sorts of stuff in canals. Was dragged out on the canal bank, but was okay. What the hell? Be bloody careful in canals. There's a lot of shopping trolleys in canals and sometimes even cars. Oh, hang then died of Wells disease from the canal bank. Got in the wound. Take care, Andy. Wash them tools. Wow. I don't want to die. That's bad, isn't it? That's really bad. It's very sad. Okay, I'll be wearing gloves, eye protection. I'll be very careful. Promise. But you're quite right. Those drawers need to be cleaned out. I've never had that problem to that extent. It is horrific. It really is. So I need to get it sorted out. Simon, the good thing with modern stuff is if a sensor is under reading, you can back probe the sensor and compare the voltage with live data. You can. That's right. There's pros and cons of both systems. I mean, don't get me wrong, you know, I know there's a lot more components on the modern bikes, the fuel injection system. There's a lot more components than what you have in a carburetor. And so long as Simon says, as long as you know the techniques of diagnostics on those systems, it isn't that hard. The problem is a lot of people don't, or they don't have the equipment to do those tests. And then it becomes an unknown quantity. They start going, oh, I wonder if it's this. I've Googled the fault code. It says TPS. I'll just put a new TPS on it, you know, and then it doesn't fix it. And then they get really confused and frustrated. And they didn't even check the wiring, you know? I mean, come on. You're right, Simon. Roger. Oh, God. Have had leptospirosis. Sucks really bad. Well, Roger, you survived, but man, you shouldn't. Yeah. I mean, on farms, there's always rats. I mean, I remember when I was a kid, I used to go to my mate's farm and there was rats everywhere. They had a big granary store where they kept all the grain, obviously. Man, there were rats everywhere. There were rat traps all over the place, but there were so many rats. There was always rats about. We used to go in there, the air rifle, and try and shoot a few of them, but they're pretty quick. Right. Talking of rats, great segue. Thank you, Roger. Bruce Cleaver, don't eat any. I won't eat any rats, don't worry. I'm not that dumb. Marmite did catch a rat once, though. We were quite concerned. Right, I'm going to show you some stuff. Turning around. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Boom. Right. So, rats. Let's see if I can do this over here. Look. So this is where Mr. Rat was. He popped out, and Mrs. Mechanic said that he saw him running around the bottom of this stool. I know it's filthy around this part of the workshop. And he was on those timbers at the back there, look. Running across the back of the shed. Well, I say running, he was strolling. He was just strolling. He wasn't in a rush. And he didn't care that we were watching either. I'm sure he knew. So, very quickly, we have Mr. Ratty's most favourite. And I'm sure other people have got different comments, but they do like peanut butter. So we bought some very cheap peanut butter. Oh, pie's ready. Specifically for rat traps. We've also got some bait as well. A little box of bait. Didn't go mad on that because I'm hoping not too many rats. And I thought it'd be fun for you guys and for me to see which out of these 4 rat traps is the one that's going to catch Mr. Rat. So, and I think there's only one at the moment, but there might be more. We've got this, there'll be a video on this, but I'll cover them anyway for you guys because you've taken the effort to do the live stream. This one is Time's Up heavy duty rat trap. So, a very traditional metal style rat trap, made in Britain. Thought I recognised it, so I thought I'll give one of those a go. See if England can be the winning rat trap. We've also got a very cheap, I think about $6 as well, $6 or $9 it was. It wasn't a lot. From number 8, no doubt Chinese made, rat trap, plastic, controls mice and rats. I think it says there, 1-year warranty. Wow. Okay, so you know it looks pretty basic. Don't know how good it's going to be, but proof will be in the pudding, won't it? And then we went for 2. Holy crap! I didn't realize there was 2 in there. 2 of the sort of giant mouse traps, which are for rats. So a very, very similar design to a standard wooden mouse trap, just bigger, called Easy Trap. There you go, look, little plug for them there. They've got the website on there. Even on the, I mean, look, that's been put on there for Mr. Rat's benefit. He can walk up to the rat trap, check out the website, and then go home and look it all up on the internet and decide the best way of circumnavigating how to get around this particular trap. Yeah, not a bright idea putting their website address on the trap itself, really, to be fair. Rat trap ×2, double spring power, sensitivity adjustment, expanded trigger, and full instructions. Look at that. There's the instructions on the back, look. So, it might, I wonder if it's with one of these. I'll only use one of them, but I wonder if it's one of these that's going to catch Mr. Ratty. I don't know. And then, Mrs. Mechanic spotted this one. And this is made by Nooski Rat Trap. Kills quickly every time. I like that. Easy to use. Reusable kill, clean kill. No snapped fingers and no poison. Really? No poison at all. You got to use bait though, haven't you? You got to put some, I don't know. We could use some of our peanut butter, couldn't we? Trap includes 1 dozen rings to kill 12 rats. Extra rings sold separately. So, I don't know how it works. There you go. Look, it tells you on the back. I'll give you a quick scan. I'm sure Roger's fully aware of these ones. A better rat trap. So it tells me all about how to, set the trap and everything. So, and it's sold in the USA, in England, Australia, and of course New Zealand. So we'll find out if, and this was by far the most expensive. So we will find out if this one is going to win the race of catching a rat. Who knows? So there you go. 4 different types of rat trap to catch Mr. Rat. Honestly, who would have a live stream talking about catching rats when it's supposed to be about fixing vehicles? Crazy, isn't it? Things we talk about. But, I suppose it is a problem for all workshops. Rats do get into workshops and you need to know how to deal with them. And I must admit, I've been very fortunate over the years not to have too many problems here in New Zealand. Back in the UK, we lived on a farm. It wasn't an active farm, but it was a farmhouse and the land and the buildings and so on. And we used to get rats running around. It wasn't very nice at all, to be honest. And we killed lots of them. One of them I killed with a shovel. I did. I beat the living crap out of that rat until it stopped breathing. And the squeals, man, the squeals that came out of that rat, as I was busy chopping him into pieces with this shovel. He was not a happy rat at all. Bruce Lee, £3 black rib nobblies from the canal. Red Dwarf reference. I don't get that. I have watched some Red Dwarf, but I don't get that reference. You'll have to elaborate. Bruce Lee, Claymore get some chickens if they get pissed off enough. They will gang up on and potentially eat it. Honestly, have you seen Chicken Run? I have seen Chicken Run. Chicken Run was cool. Very cool video. A movie, and I've watched it a few times. Kids used to love it. Simon, be careful with rat traps. Trolls are funny with rat killing. Sean Atwood, the rat man, got a good telling off from YouTube. Did he? Did he now? That's interesting. Because rats are vermin. Nobody likes rats. Well, there's the odd person that thinks a rat should be a pet. That's fine. That's up to them. They can do that in their house if they want. But okay. So maybe showing Mr. Ratty dead in the trap might be a bit too far for YouTube. Don't want to get told off. I like to try and keep a very clean slate with YouTube. One thing that I talk about YouTube. One thing that's really annoyed me is I purchased a license from Artlist website. Now, this is a website where as a creator like me, you can pay a subscription and then you get unlimited access to downloading music that you can use in your YouTube videos or other social media stuff. So brilliant. I need to do that because it's nice every now and again on the videos, depending on what I'm doing, to have a bit of music in the background, normally like fabrication or lathe work and that kind of thing. You've seen them recently. And each and every time YouTube has informed me there has been a copyright claim on my video. That's usually only one of the songs, but I mean, there could be other ones in the future, who knows, that get pinged. And each and every time you can dispute it. So each and every time I have to let them know that I have an Artlist subscription, a membership, and I'm actively allowed under license to use that music on the videos. And this is my license number. And every time I have to go through the rigmaroles. And you'd think they would just lodge my Artlist membership against my YouTube channel, so that if any more come in where the music is available on Artlist, it wouldn't go any further. But it doesn't seem to be the case. It seems that you've got to fight every one, and it really puts me off putting music on my videos because of the palaver, and it instantly blocks any kind of monetization until the matter's resolved. But it's just all that admin work, and do YouTube think, hey, he's always getting these complaints about these disputes over music? Does it actually pull down the channel? I don't know. Maybe it would. It's not good. But thank you, Simon. I appreciate the heads up on that. That's not good at all. Simon, kill shots is what he got into trouble for. Oh, okay. Oh, that's a bit different to using a rat trap. Yeah, so he was obviously using a rifle and killing rats on camera using his rifle. Yeah. I wonder how YouTube do with hunting then. They're probably the same thing. If you're out hunting a deer and you film it and stick it on YouTube, probably get told off for that. But thanks, Simon. Appreciate it. John Nuttall. John Nuttall place. Oh, hang on. John, place the bait under a hanging basket frame so Marmite cannot eat it, but the rats can get in. Yeah. Well, Marmite doesn't come in the workshop during the week. When I'm away, it's all locked up. She can't get in. And I mean, the traps I'm going to put behind the drawers, and I'm going to hide them away so she wouldn't have access to them anyway. But that's a very good point. We did actually get Rento-Kill down to the property probably about 2.5 years ago now, because we had a problem with mice. Man, we had so many mice. You could sit down and watch TV, and they'd all come out and sit near you and watch TV with you. It's like, what the hell's going? It was like a Ratatouille movie, They were just all sat around, and they'd just sit there on the floor watching the telly. And then you'd move, and then they'd scamper a bit, and then they'd sit back down and watch the telly again. And then they'd go on the back of the sofa while you sat on the sofa. It's like, what the? This is beyond the joke. We tried all sorts, and in the end we thought, nah, let's get the mouse man in and get it all sorted out. And then, sure enough, he laid so many traps, caught so many mices. It was unbelievable. It's good though. Got rid of them all. There is a mouse that lives in the workshop, and it is a mouse, and he runs down in front of the door down there. And I don't mind a mouse, just one. He's all right. Keeps me company now and again. Always makes me laugh. He's getting quite brazen though, must admit. Right. Connor K, good news about your garment. It is. I was very, very upset that I'd broken it. And it's great that Garmin have come to the table. I didn't for 1 minute try to claim warranty. I was very open and honest with them and said, look, it fell off the bike. You'll see that when I put the videos out. It fell off the bike, hit the gravel road. Not sure if that's the reason why it's failed. It did also get wet. I think that is the reason why it failed. It got rained on. And they're not designed to be waterproof. They're not designed to fall off the vehicle and hit the gravel. I know all this. This is not warranty. I know it's not warranty. I told you I'm not even claiming warranty. So I got all the standard spiel from some boffin. And then they must have gone back and actually read my email properly and went, oh, actually, because I asked them to try and if I could send it to them to get it fixed, could they repair it for me? Oh, we don't repair them. They're too complicated. Really? You made it. But we can sell you one at a drastically reduced price. Fair enough. Let's just do that. And then that way we know it's going to work. So good news about Garmin. Similar thing for me. Had a new Fluke 87. Very nice. In the 90s. Damage due to complete engine room flooding. Holy shit. Yeah, because on the ships. I guess Fluke was impressed. They sold me a new one at half price. You see, that's great customer service. Keeping you on board. It was no fault of Fluke, but they thought, hey, this guy's, he's drawn the short straw. It's been unlucky. Let's help the guy out. We know it's not warranty, clearly, but we want to make you happy. We want to keep you on board because, Fluke has an extremely good reputation in the industry, so why wouldn't you want to maintain it? You want to keep spreading the good word. Good call. Right, pie is ready. So let's go and take a look. wonder if it's got all cracked. We'll wait and see. Right, turning around. 3, 2, 1. Boom. All these turning rounds today. Right. Oh, look at that bike. Honestly. It's just saying to me, please fix me. Get me going properly. Look at the wiring on it. It's terrible, isn't it? Simon's going to go, what the hell? Look at this. It's just joins and loose wires. I mean, where does that go? It doesn't do anything. Where's that one supposed to go? It doesn't go any. It's got a bare wire. I mean, it's brilliant fixing. Well done, people. Very happy. Look, there you see there's all repairs up there. It's just a mess. It's a, look, that's the switch I broke. Bugger. Not cheap, $136 for a new one of those. But I had repaired it a couple of times already. So yeah, the wiring, look at that. It's just a minefield of, I can fix that. Look, I'll just wrap some tape around it. Great job. I mean, I'm not the best at wiring, but come on. Oh, look at this. Look at this. We've got that crack has grown. I was right. Look at that. Ooh, it still feels pretty solid though. Good job. Right. Okay. Back to the bench. Look at that. Keep focused on the pie. Good camera work, Andy. Bum, 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 bum. I'm getting really hungry now. Right. Turning around. 3, 2, 1. Boom. Okay. That should work. Right. I'm very dubious about putting this pie down anywhere at the moment because, you know, Mr. Ratty and all that. Okay. And I'm actually sat in a different place in the workshop. You've already guessed that. But I need to explain to you why, but we'll do the pie first. So, quick post-heating inspection. You can see the top. Oh, look at the crack. It's almost halfway across. It actually does stretch all the way across the pie now, but it hasn't really opened up on that half. If you turn it round, there's the crack. It's lifted the lid as well. The contents have expanded. Pop the lid. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. All that. This side's pretty good. Oh, there you see. Look, the crack's already going down the other side. This pie could split in two at any second. Yes, it's not looking great. We've even got some minor cracks along there as well. Wow. Okay. As tradition, I will start to eat at the worst crack to try and minimize failure. That's good pie management. Holy shit, it's quite warm. You can see the steam coming out. Wow. That was pretty hot. So, remember the picture. This is a gourmet pie, don't forget. So, there you go. It should look a bit like that once we get into it. So, we're looking for these huge chunks of nice, was it steak? It's beef. I suppose same thing really, isn't it? So, we're looking for nice big chunks of beef in the pie, as advertised with the wonderful photo on the front. It's going to be hot. I'm going to nibble my way in like a rat. Yeah, bastard things. It's so hot. There is a bit. It is slightly runny as well. You can see that big chunk of gravy, sort of fragments of meat hanging out there. Tastes nice though, and you can really taste the pepper. Man, the pepper's strong. Can I taste the a bit of pastry just got breathed in. Oh, you can't beat cold coffee. Cheers, Colin. Right. Another bite called for. Okay. Right. So, pie, picture. Picture, pie. Big chunks of meat in picture. I don't know. It's more like just strands of meat. Little flecks. Not mince. It's not mince because there's strands to it. It hasn't been minced as such. But it does sort of show on the on the board on the photo, there look, of the meat being sort of pulled apart into strands, not chopped. So maybe, you know, but we're not going to get nice big chunks of meat if that's what they've been doing, stranding it. There's some technical term that some chef will tell us, but I have no idea. So, well, I did get a reasonable chunk of meat there, but it's not, it's not as per photo. I get a distinct impression, it's a bit like the fast food photos. Wait, what was that? Some wildlife just fell on me. I wonder if Ratty's just run across the beam at the top and he's knocked something off. Probably. You see? It's not, there's no big chunks. It's not like the picture. You know, like I said, it's probably like the fast food brands where when they make a burger to be photoed, it always looks a million times better than the squashed, thrown together burger that you get at 11 o'clock at night when you've been to the pub. Always looks different. Now, the pastry is quite strong where it's not cracked. And when I bit into the corner here, what happened is it opened up that crack big time. The pie just tried to break into two, which would have been absolutely catastrophic. And the contents would have fallen out all over the bench. Mr. Ratty would have had a whale of a time. So I'm now having to basically support the pie with two hands because we've only got, be very careful, we've got the crack is starting to come along here and it's only got the base left that's holding the whole thing together. So, you know, it could easily just flop open and we don't want that. That's bad for a pie. But you can see there, look, you see we've got a massive change in height of the two halves of the pie top now. It's sort of collapsed down. Okay. We'll put the evidence to one side of the marketing. Now the bench is a bit weird at the moment because there's all sorts of stuff going on. I will show you later on. Taste stroke flavour. Tastes pretty good. It's very strong flavours, very, very peppery. Almost too peppery. But hey, I don't mind that. Can't taste the wine at all. It's been cooked. And again, you know, you look at the meat side of it. I was really looking forward to some nice big chunks of chewy quality meat. And there's a lot of gravy in there. You can see there's a lot of brown, deep brown gravy stuff holding it all together. So it's not quite as advertised, is it, really? I feel a bit disappointed. I mean, I was expecting to bite into that. You know, munch, munch, chew, chew, chew. Steak, nice. You know, like a sirloin steak in a pie. That's how it looked. It's not quite like that. Wow. Now, jumping the gun here, but it fell off pretty much. We have a piece of pastry. So let's do that first. Pastry taste. Very crunchy. Not really gooey at all. Any weird aftertaste? No. It is a little bit dry, is the pastry, because it really is. I mean, you can see under there like how much it's cracked. It is a little bit dry. So you'd really would have to have a drink with this pie. So, pastry taste rating. I'm going to give it a 7. I mean, it's not bad, but it's just a bit dry. Okay, taste stroke flavor contents. I'm gonna rescue that bit. Oh, look at that. You get a really good view of the contents now. Still no big chunks of meat. I mean, that hate to keep going back to it, but that and that, they're a world apart. They really are. What are you guys saying about it? John Nuttall, pie time. Hit the jeez, that's the pepper. Hit the like button. Yes, please. Bruce Cleaver. Ari the 3-pound black ribbed nobblers. Lister went fishing in a canal. Oh, really? I didn't see that one. That is all they caught. Glad you are using poison. It's so indiscriminate. A friend lives on a farm. Simon used to have a Patterdale Terrier. She was a ratting machine. Let her off on walks and can guarantee she will come back with a rat or a rabbit. What the hell? Marmite is completely the opposite. She just looks at them and goes, do you want to be my friend? And then she'll slowly creep up and want to talk to them, and then of course they run away. Bruce Cleaver brought a field mouse in the house and watched the life bleed out of it. Nasty, horrible stuff. Or use claymores. Okay. So let's focus on the pie. Very strange to be eating a pie and talking about rats and things. It's not as advertised by any means. This to me doesn't come across, it doesn't deserve the name gourmet pie. We've had much better pies or much better contents, meat quality in pies, and they've not been labelled gourmet, or gourmet is the correct pronunciation. I like to call it gourmet. You know, taste, flavour, it's all right. It's okay. I would give it, I'll give it a 7. I'll give it a 7. Now, structure Foley partners, not good, is it? It wasn't looking good at the start before we cooked it. It got a lot worse after we cooked it, and it definitely became a two-handed pie. It would have been horrific if I just stuck with a one hand. So, what do we score it? It's not over yet, but there's cracks all over the place. You can see there, look, it does fracture. It's not very flexible at all, is this pastry. It's a bit too rigid, and that's its downfall, I think. So, structure Foley partners, it's going to be pretty low, isn't it? 4? I think 4. I think 4. Oh, and it's repeating with me as well. Runnability, well, let's find out. It has cooled down a bit. 45 degrees, 30 seconds, any kind of movement. No, I would pretty much say that the gravy's congealed now and it's sort of going to hold its own. It's not bad. It's not bad. We've had a bit of oozing going on there. Oh, that was a chunk of meat hiding behind all the gravy. Okay. Runnability. It does ooze. I'm going to give it an 8. Meat quality. Well, they set themselves up to fail with this one, didn't they? You know, they tell me that I'm going to get that, and I got this, which is not good. So, meat quality, I've only had one chunk of meat so far, and the rest of it is tiny little strands. I would say, I'm going to wrap the knuckles on this one. I'm going to give him a 4. I am. I know that's a low score, but my expectations, they gave me these expectations, don't forget. They set the line in the sand. That's what they're selling me, and this is what they sold me. Pie to crust ratio. It's not bad, actually. The pastry is quite thin. If you look around the edges, it's actually very thin. So there is therefore quite a lot of content. So they score reasonably well on that. Pie to crust ratio, 8. I'm going to give them an 8 for that one. Availability logistics. Well, I don't know. I think they're only available from supermarkets. This was from a Countdown supermarket. So let me just Google to see if they tell us any more information about that. Google. Google. Thank you. Right. Herbert Adams pies. Oh, so it's made in New Zealand by the looks of it. Let's have a look. Made in Australia. Right, it's made in Australia. Just there, look, it says the box. Made in Australia. Right, not New Zealand. Okay, so it's been imported. Okay. Oh, and it's not gluten-free, but that doesn't bother me. Okay, have we got a website? Okay, so they're available in New World, which is where we bought it from. Available at Food Me, which is another. Find Herbert Adams products online and buy the best online shops in New Zealand. Herbert. I wonder if that's. So maybe you can buy it online then. Maybe they've done that. And that is a New Zealand website, and you can buy them, and you get two. And here we go for $7. So it's cheap. It's $7 for two pies. That's $3.50 each. If I got taught maths correctly, which is actually very cheap. Add to cart. No, I won't add to my cart. Thank you. Right. Has Herbert Adams got their own website there? They bloody should do. Facebook. Oh, what's this? FMCG Business. Woolworths Australia. Sorry, I want to drill. Hattie's brand. Hattie's Bakery. I don't see a dedicated website for these pies. So I'm going to say, just to put it in a nutshell, they appear to be available from a couple of different types of supermarket here in New Zealand. They are imported from Australia. They're not available at your local dairies. You can't buy them from the petrol stations, so it's reasonably limited, but you can buy them online. There's a distributor in New Zealand will allow you to buy them online and will ship them to you. By the looks of it. Or do you have to go and pick them up? Hang on, let's have a little look. Okay, well, add to cart. Let's see what's. No, I don't want to watch. Jesus Christ. Right, add to cart. I do like the touch screen. It's good. Right, add to cart. Let's just follow this through. Yes, you can know my location, for God's sake. Right, go to the cart. I'm not going to buy them. Right. You have to pick them up. They don't ship them to you. So you can order them online, but it's like click and collect. You've got to go and get them. So that's pointless. So you can't get them online. It's just through those supermarkets. And by the looks of it, Countdown, New World, Pack and Save, and Fresh Choice all sell them. So we found out some more information there. Those 4 brands of supermarket, they're pretty much in every town. So you can get them in every town in the supermarkets that do stock them. I'm not saying that every Pack and Save in New Zealand will stock them because they're all independents. So what was we got? Availability. 6. All supermarkets, but only supermarkets. And you've got to cook them, don't forget. So not, you can't eat it there and then. I think 6 is fair. That one still tasty when cold. Number 8. Yes, we're on 8. So still tasty when cold. We're not there yet. Packaging design. Right. Now, obviously, the marketing team have decided to push the boat out with this and make it look really, really good, despite the fact that the goods are maybe not quite as good as they were hoping. They've gone to a lot of work to produce a nice box like this. Very, very appealing. I mean, hats down to them, really. They have done a phenomenal job. It's cardboard. It's got some wonderful pictures. I mean, look, they've even torn some beef there and taken a photo to show you the succulence of the beef that you don't get in the pie. But, from packaging design, it is cardboard. So it should be recyclable somewhere. Well, it's cardboard, so we know it's recyclable, but do they tell us? I don't know. So I mean, pretty good. Probably one of the best, packaging designs we've come across. Clearly a winner. Gives you lots of information about the product. Doesn't tell you how the photo doesn't represent the contents there. Just says it's a serving suggestion. Nice. Okay, so packaging design, they're going to score pretty high. One of the best. 9. I feel reluctant to give them a full score. 9. Recyclable score, well, it is cardboard. It's not plastic lined. It doesn't tell you. Oh, there is websites. If you're interested in the website, it's pattiesfoods.com.au. So there isn't a New Zealand website. It doesn't tell you that the packaging is recyclable. So they only get a 9. I know it is, but they only get a 9. Post heartburn factor. It has repeated a couple of times already. I'm going to give them an 8 for now. That score may drop later on this morning. Look, we've got more oozing going on. And it is cooling down, to be fair. Pie server attractiveness. Well, it's from a supermarket. And it was from the Countdown in Taupo, which there's usually a couple of really hotties on the counters. You might draw the short straw and get one of the old biddies, but Mrs. Mechanic bought them. Do I go by the last time I was there? She was nice. Give her an 8. I'll give her an 8. Let's just hope that she was the one that served Mrs. Mechanic. Oh no. Right. Ratty can have that bit. Okay. We failed. Okay, stuffability score. I'm almost there. Do I want anything else to eat? Not really. Am I over full? Not really. It was sort of okay, pretty average, in all honesty, as regards how full I feel. I would certainly feel fuller if it had been some nice, chewy, proper meat in there. You know, nice big chunks of succulent meat, like on the picture. I'm going to give them a 7. I don't feel satisfied. I might feel full, but I don't feel that I'm satisfied. It hasn't given me what I was expecting it to give me, so they're going to get a 7. I think 7's fair. Still tasty when cold. Well, I'd almost put it in a mince pie kind of a category, given the fact there wasn't really any decent sized chunks of meat in there. And there was a hell of a lot of gravy. There was a lot of gravy in that. And that tends to go against it when it's cold. So I'm going to give it a 6. I don't think it's going to be that tasty. In fact, I might even give it a 5 because the pastry is going to be really, really hard. I'm going to give it a 5. Okay. Sorry, Herbert Adams. You haven't scored very well today. But let's find out what the total is. Here we go. Turn you around. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Bear with me. We've got all sorts going on in the workshop today. So, this is time that Andy's got to put his arithmetic hat on. Hopefully you can see these. You've got to tell me if I'm wrong. 11, 19, 23, 31, 37, 44, 49, 58, 67, 75, 82, 90. It gets a 90. That's it for a gourmet pie. 90 is not a particularly good score. Yeah, sure, it's above average, but it's not great, is it? And it should have got a lot better. Okay, so now we need a strip. Bum, bum, bum. Can you see? You can still see it. It's good. Okay, so this one was a Herbert Adams. And they called it beef Shiraz. How the hell is it spelled Shiraz? Shiraz. Easy enough. Right, Shiraz. And pepper. 90. Okay. Right. Let's go and stick that one on the wall. And we've got the one from when we were down at Roger's farm, which was the Matura steak and cheese, which got 100. Far more respectable. Okay, let's go and put these two on the board. Here we go. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, bum, bum. Right, I'm going to close the cupboard door now. Stick them on there. See, everything's organised now. We're good. Okay, so we've got a 90. Oh my God, I've got to try and squeeze that in there. All right. So that's going to have, all these are going to have to go up. Sorry. You see, I didn't really, I should actually leave a few gaps. I should get organised and leave a few gaps. But I suppose you get a chance to view all the ones we've done before. It's getting quite busy on this this cupboard now, actually. Right. Got so many pies. Who would have thought I'd eat all these pies? You know, looking at me, you wouldn't think I'd eaten loads of pies, would you, to be fair? Yeah, I know. Bullshit, Andy. Nom, 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 nom. Right, we're getting there. We're getting there. We're not far off. We're not far off. Hang in there. Don't unsubscribe right now. Just wait. Just wait. Go on. Give me a chance. Okay. Right. So, Herbert Adams beef, Shiraz, and pepper. Same as Toad Hall. I mean, you can get these in pretty much nearly all the supermarkets in New Zealand, and it's still only got 90. Toad Hall, one place in New Zealand, got the same score. That is a far better pie than this one ever could even hope to be. Ronnie's Cafe Bakery, just down the road at Tokoroa, 90. Pretty good. Additional fault there. You know, so I mean, they haven't done very well at all, have they? Now, we need to, oh God. Okay, that's going to have to go on the top of the cupboard now. Didn't really plan ahead there, Andy, did we? So we've got to do 100 now. So stick that one up there. Sorry. Terrible filming. Bear with me. Don't unsubscribe. I mean, you can if you want. It's your call. But, yeah. Right. Okay, we're there. We've made space. Just. Look at that. Sorry, South Main Auto. Eric, I've hidden your sticker now completely. Okay, so we've got Roger's Pie, the Matura steak and cheese, proudly at number 5 best pie in New Zealand at this point in time. And again, it was only available in one place. So actually, you know, a better pie than the baker's son for taste. But when you take into account all the logistics and stuff, then of course, that's where you get the final score. So, things are looking pretty crowded now, look. That's a lot of pies. Good job. Right. Back to the bench. I need a cigarette after that pie. Jeez. Wasn't the greatest. Okay, bear with me. We've got a lot of flies in this workshop at the moment. What's going on? Boom. Right, even the laptop's gone to sleep. Where did we get to? Oh, come on. Thank you very much. Okay, back to the live stream. Here we go. Get it back on there. How many have we got? Right. Simon. Oh, no, done that one. Bruce Cleaver. Done that one. Simon. Drunk with a pie, cider will do long. A drink with a pie, yes. A cider would have done perfectly with that pie, actually. It would have certainly raised, it would have scored higher if I'd had a cider with it. No flies in the coffee. Matawix. Never believe a picture on a pie box again. No, I think we've proved that. We've had that a few times. And come on, Herbert. That really, really, really doesn't represent that pie. It sets them up to fail, you know. I'd rather than just put a true picture of what the contents are. I'm sure we would have still bought the pie, and then I wouldn't be angry in the fact that the pie that they sold me actually, it's like going out and buying the top of the range Mercedes and they turn up with one of the little ones. You know, it's like, no, that's not what I ordered, mate. I ordered the big one. Anyway. And there's a lot of pastry on the bench. Mr. Ratty will have lots and lots of fun eating all that, I'm sure. Go away, come on. I'm going to get the fly spray out very shortly. There's going to be some dead flies soon. Will YouTube ping me for video killing flies? And we've done that. We've killed bees and stuff before, haven't we? We had one that went in the... Although that was its choice. That wasn't an active kill on my part. It flew to the light and died. That's its choice. And it spent a long time getting through the bars as well. Okay, last cigarette. We've covered everything, I think. Oh, almost everything, actually. I've not shown you Mrs. Mechanic's setup for packing all the stuff, so we'll do all that in a minute. Let's do some more comments, because there's lots of comments. Jim Haynes, as far as imports, where does Australia? Oh, land. I order of the most items, or is that China? No, I would say that the vast majority of imported goods into New Zealand come out of China. I would say. We get a lot of stuff out of China. And there's some kind of trade agreement going on that I'm not fully aware of. I know that the Chinese can get into New Zealand without having to speak a word of English. Whereas if you come from other countries, you've got to do an IELTS test, which is pretty strict, actually. They've got to be pretty good at English to get in. And they also, there's a lot of Chinese in the universities. There's a lot of income for the universities comes out of China. So, yeah, and they buy a lot of properties. It's just, I don't know. It's a bit unfair, to be honest. Simon, removed after back reading sounded very wrong. So, will you do a review on a pie Mrs. Mechanic made? I will, definitely. It's a loaded question. Of course it is. The way the first comments came across looked wrong. Yeah, I think you're right. Okay, copy that. In Edwards, think you need a bigger workshop for all those tool cabinets. There's loads of cabinets. If I was to get any more cabinets, I would definitely need a bigger workshop, for sure. Although I'm thinking about, now we've got Sheldon over in that corner. I'm thinking about, he needs a bit more room around him to use the movable table. So I'm considering moving some of the benches a little bit. It's a big job. It probably isn't going to happen for a while. But if I start to do a lot more use on Sheldon, then I'm going to have to consider how I'm going to do that. Yeah, it's work in progress. It's always work in progress. A workshop is always fluid. You know, you're always changing your equipment. You're moving things around, and you've got to accommodate everything. And the mill needs a fair bit of room around it, so you can get to it and adjust things easily. At the moment, it's just really in a storage place, and I need to sort the base out and the casters out, because you can't really move it very well anymore because all the casters are falling apart. So it's not going well. It's on the back burner. It'll get fixed. Jim K, the package has made in Australia. Oh, the package has made it to Australia. Yes. Yeah, it's anyway, enough about the pie. It wasn't the greatest, and it sure as hell isn't a gourmet pie. Herbert. Petrolhead 77. Hi all. Good morning, Petrolhead 77. Welcome to the workshop, and we're 1 hour and 44 minutes in. Who would have thought? Another long live stream. John Nuttall, cat's out of the bag. You're making a rat bike next week, lol. Funny. Choppers Rule 1. Good day, mate. Good morning, afternoon, evening. Choppers Rule 1. Good to have you on board, matey. Simon, more workshop room, just box in the carport. No, I can't. I really like the carport as a carport. And if I make it another shed, I'll lose my carport, so to speak. I know you can do the same work in there, but it gets pretty hot around here in the summertime. And very rainy in the winter and quite muggy. And when I'm servicing the ROVs, under the carport is perfect, because you get a bit of a breeze, you're nice and dry, it's got lots of natural light. I can't box it in. I need to build another shed, and then I can have a sort out. At least store some of the bikes up there. So I'd have to push all the bikes out, because this workshop on a night time, I'd love to be able to show you what it's like when it's filled with bikes. There's only just enough room to get down to the doors and shut the doors and then escape the workshop. Other than that, it's a sea of bikes. I mean, there's 4 ATVs going here, and probably about 20 motorcycles. It really is chocker. Gone out again. What the hell? Chopper 01, I moved into a new house and it has a great park just down the road from me. Did I had new electric bike build? Did I hear a new electric? English. It's hard to read sometimes on these comments. Are you going to buy a new electric bike? Are you going to build one? Or am I going to build one? Ben's well into his electric mountain bikes. He loves them, and he's good at building them. That's all I can say. I've not ridden one yet. Mrs. Mechanic has one. Well, I have ridden it, but just round the block, and it was very good. Not super powerful, because I was expecting a bit more grunts, but it is what it is, and it's a lot easier to pedal. Roger Heaps, well, big pig, only 2 piglets. Not sure you'll make the cut. You mean that could be the end of that big pig? That's going to fill the freezer up. Choppers Rule 1, sorry, it's my fat fingers. It's all right, mate. I'm going to build one. Excellent. You're going to build yourself an electric trike. Wow. I read bike, not trike. Sorry. Electric trike. That would be cool. Send me some photos. Send me some photos of your sort of design, and then we'll talk about it. I can hear Mr. Mouse. It is Mr. Mouse. It's only light footprints. Pitter patter of mousy feet. That's what that is. So you want to see what Mrs. Mechanic has got to do today, and then we're going to sign off. So I reckon I can do it with, well, I'll put the cigarette down. What the hell? In fact, I'll stub it out because it'll only burn to nothing otherwise. And we'll finish that off shortly. Okay, turn you around one more time. Here we go. So you've probably seen look, she's even got a shirt. A full Tool Girl shirt, by the way, because it's the full length one. Yes, she won't wear the short ones for various reasons. Anyway, so under here are all the large plates. They're all, look at the paint job on that. It's fantastic. So there's 102 of those hiding under those. But what's more important is the rig. A couple of flies. So, like a big Meccano set, she said, can you make me a roll holder? So I knocked together very quickly with some G-clamps a roll holder. So then she can roll the paper, once I untag it again, because I tagged it last night, across the bench. And then this, where I was sat here, is her packing area. And she's done, oh, there's some more bits actually. I've jumped the gun, hang on. So I had to disassemble it last night to get all the bikes in. But there's some various bits here. You can see that there's this bit, I think is, yeah, this bit's used to hold the roll, the tape. And then there's another bit there that goes on the end of the bench like that. So the tape just rests on the top and then she cuts it off. I did put a serrated edge on it. I used a Sawzall blade, but she didn't like it. It's a bit sharp. A bit blunt, actually. It wouldn't cut the paper. It was an old one. And various mole grips and bits and pieces just to make all that work. And that all sits down here. In this part here, you see. So she's got paper flow coming in here. She's got tape flow from here. So she's all organized. It's all to hand, doesn't have to move anywhere. And then she packs it. And then she stacks it over there where the rat traps are. And a couple of days ago, she did all of these. These are the right angle pieces, 2 per kit. And she's packed the long flat pieces, which are, I do have a spare one over here actually. Dum dum dum. These ones. Recognize these? Yeah. So she's packed 4 of those per kit. They're all done. Oh look, hooks, lots of hooks. So yeah, she's packed. I think she said we had 51 or 52 of those. So we've got a few spares, which is nice. And what she's still got to pack today is over here. just for storage, which is these bits. So there are 2 of these per kit, and they've got a 3.3 degree fold. And again, they came up really well on the paint. Very, 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 very happy. And these were tumbled, sandblasted. So we've proved the concept now. The paint is good. It adheres really well. You can see that there's no chips whatsoever on there. So extremely happy with that. And she'll be packing those today. And also she'll be putting the whole kits together and packing them all in some bubble wrap. And adding the fixings, the nuts and bolts kits and stuff to them, which she's already done. They're in the house. So she's very happy and she's very efficient at doing it. And it's something which I don't have the patience to do at all. So I'm very grateful that she's doing it for me. Very, very grateful indeed, actually. So there you go. It just shows how adaptable this working space needs to be. You know, we do repairs on motorcycles and ATVs. We do welding and fabrication work, and we even use the main bench as a packing station as well. God, so many flies. There were 4 flies on the laptop. What the hell? Anyway, crew, I'm going to finish what's left of this little cigarette, and then we're going to sign off. And I can't drink my coffee anymore because there's been flies all over it. Oh man, talking of flies. Right. Chopper's Rule 1. I'm also going to build a powerful electric reverse trike. I like the idea of it having reversibility. It'll be using a 2,000 watt motor to power it. That will go well. A friend of mine built a mountain bike with a 1,000 watt motor in the hub at the rear and a 1,000 watt motor in the front wheel. Went like stink. Really did. Good for climbing hills. Chopper's Rule 1. I made a small hammer out of 2 bolts to use at work. Wow. Simon Raw. Speaking of trike, been working on his disabled veterans trike for 6 months. Lots of issues. It's now sorted. He'll be very, very happy. Good job, Simon. It's nice to try and help those kind of guys out. They put a lot in, don't they? Bruce Cleaver. RE Electric Mountain Bikes. There's a garage workshop show on UK TV. They made electric bikes with DeWalt drills. I've seen a couple of clips like that. A shaft drive with cog for the chain was one option. Interesting. They go pretty well, actually. Those DeWalt drills are pretty powerful these days. Roger Heaps. Until next time, mate. Feeling better at this end. Still testing negative, though, so no idea. Yeah. What's going on there, Roger? I do hope that you recover fully. And it's no fun being under the weather. It really isn't. It knocks me for 6. I lose all my mojo and just can't be bothered. I usually end up just editing videos when I'm not feeling very well. So I still try and be productive, but you know, I just don't have the energy to go outside in the workshop. But luckily, very rarely do I get ill, which is nice. Simon, seeing riding is magic. Oh, fly. Yeah. Flies everywhere. I'm going to go on a fly killing holocaust very shortly. This is ridiculous. They're all coming out of the woodwork today. They're all waking up. Seeing ride is magic is all worth it. Yes. Seeing him ride the bike will be magic. Absolutely. Yeah. Seeing him ride off down the road. Chopper's Rule 1. I built a dog wheelchair for an old lady whose dog couldn't walk properly. Bloody hell. Mate, good job. Really good. Right, crew, I think we're there. I think we've come to the end of the live stream. We've done pie stuff. We've done a walk around the workshop. We've done all sorts of things, haven't we, really, today? Really, and of course, Mr. Ratty's been talked about many, many times. So I have a video to make at some point today, probably this afternoon. We'll get Mrs. Mechanical set up and get her productive. But I'll be back here again next Sunday, 8:30 a.m. I'll see you then. Cheers, crew. Thanks for all your comments, and stay safe. Over and out.